Hello and welcome to another tutorial about Catia v5. My name is Rafals and today we're gonna look to a video that was made special for beginners but are having a minimal experience of Catia v5. On this video we will focus on the most basic wireframe geometry that Catia has to offer. In other words, we'll be focusing on point, line, plane and what we can do with them. Now, you may ask yourself, why is it important to know that? The reason for it is because at the later stages, where as you advance, as you become better and better, as you can create more and more complex geometries and surfaces, those simple geometrical elements, the point, the line, the plane, will be very useful and we're gonna help you a lot concerning the construction of complex surfaces. So without delay, let's jump into the first element of the day, which is gonna be our point, how we can define point. Now with Catia we have quite few options. The first option that Catia gives us is point with coordinates, or as the name says, you just give the coordinates and you can create a point on it. The second one is the so-called on curve. For that we're gonna need a curve, and Catia we're gonna create a point along this curve. Now it's important to know that there are two different ways we can define the distance where we can place this point on curve. First we have the distance of curve, which means it's the measured distance along the curve from the reference point. And the second one is a given ratio between the reference point and the curve's extremity. It starts with 0, which is the 0. It goes up to 0.5, which is the middle point of the curve. And if you place it to 1, it's the absolute value, the end of the curve. And there are two different distances. We can specify it a little bit more. We can specify it as geodesic or Euclidean. The geodesic distance is the distance which is measured along the curve, and an Euclidean distance is a distance that is measured in relation to the reference points. Now, the third option is going to be on plane. By the way, I'm going to show you how you can do it. I'm just going quick way through it so you can have an idea of what I'm about to talk about. You have a surface, we can create points on the surface. If we have a circle, sphere, or ellipse, we can create a point also. We can create a tangent point to a curve, and between is like we're going to create a point between 2 points. I know it sounds ridiculous, but you can do it with Catia. So without further ado, let's start with the first one, coordinates. First point, coordinates. What we have in this window here, we have our coordinates values which we can give the x, y and z. Let's give some values on it. We start with 20, we go to 15 and want to go up, let's just say 50. Click preview. So this is the point that I have created. Now this is standard values, and about 90% of your time when you are working with Catia, you're gonna work with these standard values. If for whatever reason there is a need to change that, you can do it, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. So I'll click OK. Now let's go again for the same one. We give our point but instead of default origin, we're using the point that we have defined previously. So what I've done is just like the new definition of the new point is not based anymore on the absolute zero value, but it's based on the new point that I had. And so axis system, it goes to this one here. If I had another axis system somewhere here, I have to choose a different system. You get the point what I'm trying to get. So we'll click preview, OK, and we're done with it. Now, the other type, as we said before, is on curve. We can create a point on a curve. For that, we need one. So let's create one. Let's go with a simple sketch and let's do a simple spline. So this is a spline icon. Let's create some sort of curve. Now, keep in mind that it's not only that. As a curve or plane curve can be defined a line. If I had a line here, that would have been also the same type. If I had a parabola, it would also be, I could choose it, the hyperbola, the circle, even the ellipse if I wanted to. So now let's go back and let's go to point on curve. Now we choose our definition, second definition on curve. For that we need to choose our curve, and we choose our curve. Now as you can see, this is the origin of the curve. This is the 0 point and goes up to 1, up to 1. And as I said, we have the distance of curve. The distance of curve is the given distance along the curve from the reference point. In our fall, the reference point is that. If I had a different reference point, say here somewhere, I could have chosen that to do it. So we just move it, and as you can see, it moves along the curve. The second one done is the ratio. The ratio, it's a given ratio between the reference point and the curve's extremity. So the reference point and the curve's extremity will give me the ratio. This is the ratio 1, as you can see here, because it's the end of it. I can place it here, which is going to be in the middle, on 0, or wherever I want to place it. And we can do it like that. Yes, for this you don't need to concern yourselves right now. Let's leave it to that. And we click OK. And that is the second way how we create a point. The third way is we can create a point on plane. As you can see on my window here, of the definition window, you can see the plane. Now, if you're not sure what to choose or how to proceed, always, doesn't matter what kind of operation you're using, you're gonna see at the bottom left what Catia wants to choose. For example, here wants me to choose a plane. So in that way, I'm choosing a plane. And as you can see, I can place the point where I want to. Simple. Now, the fourth option is gonna be to place on surface. It works in a similar way as the point on plane, but this time I'm gonna use a surface. So let's create a surface first. Let's do a simple surface from here to here. Alright, so we go back to our definition and go on surface. Now what Catia wants us to do is to select the surface, so we select the surface and we need to click to set the current point of surface, or if I had a point somewhere I could use it. So as you can see, I can place a point on any everywhere I want to. And that was point on surface. Now the fifth option we have is circle, sphere, ellipse. Well, this is a very simple one. We need to have a circle and gonna make a point. So how that works? Well, let us try to make a circle and we'll see how that is gonna work. Yeah, sketch. Let us make a circle or ellipse. Yeah, and here and out. So let's put this first in also. Right, so let's go back to it and go circle, sphere, ellipse, and we choose our curve, and there you have it. It always creates a middle point. It's simple as that. It's not so complex, and you can work your way through. Let's delete it. No, let's leave it. Let's have these 2 points, and we choose the last option. We have the tangent, not the last option, but the one before it, tangent on curve. What this does, it's gonna create a point on a curve that has a tangency along to an axis. So we need a curve, and as curve we have, take that one. In direction, what direction we want to do? Let us say, can we go to X component? No. We cannot go in this direction. Can we go to the Y component? Yes, we can, because this is the way the curve was created. Now the question is, if I choose the Z component, will it go? Of course not. So it's worth to mention here that this works only from the direction of the curve. That's all. Well, there we have it. And the last one, it's gonna be the point between. And point type between, so we choose our 2 points, point 1, point 2, and it goes to the ratio. We can choose middle point if we want to, click OK, and there we have it. And that concludes the first part, which is about the lines. The next video is gonna be all about the lines, and the third video is gonna be about the planes. I'm hoping to see you in the next one. If you liked the video, please give a like or subscribe if you want to, and yeah, thank you for your attention.